Hi, Peter Backer here. Today I'm going to explain and try and simplify how we use the ground forces, because the ground forces vertical creates power and creates good sequencing. Then we have rotational forces, which also creates speed but causes a little bit of problems in the swing if the sequence is in the wrong time and the rotation comes in too early, it throws the club out. So then we're going to have the hinging. How do we use our hinges correctly with our hands? Okay, so today I'm going to try and explain to you. If you see on the ground here, I've drawn a little chalk line on the ground. That's my railway track, and I have another railway track that my feet are standing on. So I'm standing on a parallel railway track to each other. Okay, and if you look at my pressure up on the right hand side there, I'm going to have that white dot, which is the center of mass. I want that to be slightly forward and slightly to 60% on my front foot and 60% on my toes. Right, so that's my good setup position at address. Now, the first move in the swing is critical because my arms like to move up and down. Okay, if we allow the arms to move first, they're going to want to move up and down. So they're going to do this. Okay, I don't want the first move to be up and down. I want the first move to be a weight transfer, a turning from the left toe at 60% into the right heel. That brings the club into the correct slot. Okay, then I'm going to keep hinging, and when my club gets parallel to my railway line, now I'm going to hinge it upwards, and then I'm going to create a little bit of a lifting of the arms. So now I want to bring lift into play. Now, when I get very close to the top, I want to start shifting my weight into my left side. Okay, so let's do that again. So I'm going to start with a rotation, then I'm going to hinge, then I'm going to lift the arms, then I'm going to shift the weight, then I'm going to drop the arms. Now I want to bring rotation in as hard as I can so that I can get into that left heel, so that I can get my hips out of the way to give my hands the space to be able to travel down the line. If you start with the arms first, okay, then what's going to happen is if the arms want to pull down and you haven't moved the weight, now you're fighting for real estate at the bottom here, so then your pelvis has to get out from underneath you to create space for you to have the flip. We don't want that. Okay, so to take it again, my suggestion is you learn how to do this slowly first, get the sequence right, and then